Welcome to Subscription Prescription, the podcast where you get the information you need to scale your subscription program. Hello and welcome to another dose of Subscription Prescription, the podcast where we help you figure out everything related to D2C subscriptions. I'm your host, Matthew Holman, and today we are in June, one of my favorite months of the year, partially because it is my birthday, but partially because we are so close to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I know it feels like forever, 4 or 5 months away, but the truth is you should be thinking about and planning around the biggest selling time of the year, especially when it comes to subscriptions. So on today's dose, we're going to be diving into a few things you should be working on now over the summer. I'm also going to get into a little bit, stepping up on my soapbox as it comes to how we should be selling subscriptions when it comes to that biggest sales day time period of the year. First things first is that most people think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday specials as this huge flash sale. You're getting incredibly aggressive on your website, trying to get in as many people as possible. And the hard part is that subscriptions are already a big offer that you have on your site. So for example, let's say you're doing 15, 20% off to get somebody to subscribe and save, and you periodically will run sales or specials on the site where people can get 10, 20, 30% off, or maybe subscriptions are 30 or 40% off during some of those sale periods. The mistake that we make is we start to box ourselves into a corner a little bit thinking, well, hey, if I'm already giving 20% away on subscriptions and I'm doing site-wide 40%, can I afford to do site-wide 60% for subscriptions? Or if I'm doing 40% site-wide, does that mean 40% for subscriptions? Because then there's not necessarily as big of an incentive to subscribe as there is to buy the one-time option. And so we've talked on a lot of past episodes about how you could be thinking about gift incentives or bulk purchasing options. And all that is true. I'm going to talk a lot more about that later on in the show. But I want you to be thinking about this kind of problem, is that if I'm constantly trying to figure out how to get subscribers in when I'm running sales or specials, this episode's for you. Okay? So we're going to go through 3 things that you should be doing over this summer to get better prepared for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, for this giant sales day of the year so that you can acquire not just customers, but subscribers. We can talk more later on as well on how you can fight to keep those people that might be leaving. But for now, we're going to be talking about a few things. The first is starting to study which offers or specials or combos that you've tried in the past that have worked. The second thing is customer interviews and getting deeper into the heart of why people are buying from you. And the third thing is offer testing. And if you listen to this show at all, you know that I talk about offer testing all of the time. Okay, so let's take it from the top. The first thing is figuring out what offers or specials you should be running. And the reason I'm talking about this is just something very simple, something not even really that sophisticated that we run all the time. And you can do this by looking inside of your own subscription platform data, or just do a simple export of your subscription orders over time. What I want you to do is start paying attention to combos of products that you're having. If you have, most of you are not just selling a single product. If you are, then you could be thinking about maybe some different specials you've used in the past to make that one offer compelling. Most of you're selling 2, 3, 50 or more products. So when we're thinking about subscription offers, I'm looking at combos that have strong LTV. So if I can get this as a CSV file, just drop this into Claude, ChatGPT, any of your LLMs there, and just start asking it some simple questions about the data, specifically around top combos. If you have an export that can show like total number of orders or some kind of lifetime value element, then this becomes actually really useful. Again, you can also look inside your platform to see if they're able to segment by top selling products or combos over time. But again, I'm trying to find if there's a product, say a product A when bought with product D, outperforms just product A in general. I'm looking for these types of combos that people are naturally selecting for themselves, or specials, things that have done well in the past, because I'm trying to unearth some opportunities that I can use to sell in the future. So when we're talking about subscription offers and what makes subscriptions compelling, we always have discounts as a fallback or often as something that we're leading with, but you can think about combos. So like say you're basically buying 2 products, you could sell them at an aggressive discount or some kind of a special when you subscribe. It could be subscribe to product A, get product B free for a month. Subscribe to product A and B, get both products 50% off your first month, right? So I'm thinking about there's actually really easy getting a list of ways you can sell 2 or 3 products together as a bundle, preset bundle. But I'm trying to find the ones that are already doing really, really well. And I'm going to put very specific offers that are aggressive for those combos that are going to be more aggressive than, say, just a normal flat discount across the site or a normal discount for subscriptions. Because I want people to grab those offers, grab those bundles, combos, or again, if you're selling one product, using that kind of same special that you've used in the past that was pretty compelling. Because people that buy those products are already giving you a historical context of being stronger, higher LTV subscribers than others. Okay, so that's number one. Number 2 is talking to more customers. Now, I'm really excited. A good friend of mine has actually been developing a tool around this that I'm going to tell you a little bit about. But first of all, we all know how difficult it is to get into customer conversations, right? Trying to get feedback from somebody. I've talked on this show from the very beginning about post-purchase surveys, about surveys using tools like Alia Learn, or even just your email pop-up to try to get information from people before they make a purchase. You have your cancel flow. You have all these touch points. We're trying to collect data. The hard part is we can't ask follow-up questions or get more context very easily out of these. And it's also difficult to get into the heart of specific customer segments around specific customer touch points or engagement opportunities, right? Like right after they purchased, before they've canceled, after they've canceled. So our good friends over at 100 Degrees Celsius, Brian Stark, done a ton of work in subscriptions in the past, has developed this really, really cool tool called Customer Conversations. You can learn more about it at customerconversations.co. I'll have a link in our description so that you can click that as well. But basically what Brian has done is developed a tool using AI where it's not auto-dialing people. It's actually giving people an opportunity to give you feedback. So you can drop it into Klaviyo flows or campaigns, and you can trigger them around specific events. So for example, if somebody canceled, you can embed a very specific set of cancellation-related AI questions, and people get sent a link, they click on the link, they enter the phone number, and then AI calls them. So it's all legit, it's all above board. People know that this is happening. We're seeing some really interesting results so far with 5, 10, 15-minute conversations where people are giving you tons of feedback. Post-purchase, giving an opportunity for somebody to call you and tell you why they bought a product, why they didn't. Around billing reminders, around any types of trigger that you can normally think of around a subscriber life cycle, you can actually start sending this link that people can then opt in to have a call made. And there are ways to incentivize that to make that more compelling. But the truth is we're finding a lot of success with people that are actually just willing to give you more and more feedback around your product and service. So imagine, if you will, when we had Space Goods, B. LaCoultre on here a couple months ago, she talked about how Space Goods started to see some really incredible lift in first month LTV when they started to figure out, by talking to customers, what the perfect cup of Space Goods was, their mushroom coffee, right? So they started to figure out by feedback from people about how they were making it so that it would taste the best. And they knew that if they could get everybody that bought to make the best tasting cup of this, that their chances of keeping them longer went up astronomically. So it's finding out little touch points like that. Why did you pick the subscription option versus not? Why did you have too much product? Is there all these types of feedback questions you're not really getting? But some of the most incredible touch points to be getting into is really around that first interaction, that first touch point, the unboxing and first product experience. That is critical, right? Getting more insight into how people see your product, they start using your product, what they're thinking about your product. So that's an incredible opportunity right there. Then again, cancellation. Once somebody is left, finding out what didn't work out right, what could have been better, what was not explained well. Those are 2 really, really huge pieces. And the reason I love those also for prepping for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is because we're going to get insights into what people really love about your product, but also what maybe isn't quite clearly getting explained or what they don't like about your product, so that you can fix some of that on your product page, on how you're onboarding people, but also potentially getting ideas around offers you can use to get people in the funnel. Okay, so that's 2. Customerconversations.co is a great way to do this. Otherwise, I highly recommend you using sending people type forms or quick surveys via Klaviyo. We talk about Zamo on this show a ton. They actually have some really great survey tool options available. If you're using them, talk to them about how to do that. It's really, really simple. Third thing is offer testing. So the summertime is best time to start getting through this. So if you don't already have a really strong offer testing muscle in your company, this is a good time to start it. This is it's summertime. We're gearing up for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday subscription bodies. So this is the time to work. It's okay if you didn't take advantage of the spring. We have the summer to get ready. If you already have a really good framework or offer testing flywheel, that is great. I want you to start thinking about some of these offer ideas we've uncovered in example number 1, talking about combos or bundles. Number 2, with some of that customer feedback, start testing some of those over the summer so that you can start to pick potential winners that you can kind of go a lot harder or deeper on in the fall. If you don't have a good framework or structure in place for offer testing, now is the time to start building that. And some of the simplest ways to do this are just by testing. You can use landing pages for this. I'm a huge fan of Replo for being able to stand up offers, different buy boxes, different things you can test. Again, go onto our newsletter or on our YouTube page and just type offer ideas. I'm sure you're going to get tons of different past episodes where I break a lot of these down, but looking at bulk options, so pre-selling multiple months at a time, gift with purchase, top combos of 2 or 3 products, aggressive discounting. These are a lot of really simple things you can start testing on a landing page or on a product page. If you have that capability, you're able to iterate through that fairly quickly. You want to start saying, can I drive up conversions? What converts better than other things? What has a higher AOV than other things? Because it's not just about acquiring customers at Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It is about converting them well, converting people on higher offers wherever possible. And then the final step is starting to pay attention to what does first and second month LTV look like for some of these different offers. If we're tagging them, or if they're just separate products, it's really easy to keep track of those things. We want to see how those offers perform in the first month or two, because if I can start to uncover an offer that maybe it converts a little bit less than some of the others that we've tried, but has a stronger retention curve in that first and second month, hey, we've got something we should be trying out at Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because these people that we get in are going to stick around a little bit longer or be stronger than other cohorts we've tried. Okay, so just as a recap, thinking through this summer is getting into the nitty-gritty of what things we should be worried about when it comes to our biggest sales time of the year. For most e-com brands, that is true. So we're looking at combos and past offers inside of our subscription program that have strong LTV and thereby strong profitability. I'm talking to customers wherever possible to try to uncover things that could be better, understand what the ideal customer experience is for subscribers that stick around a long time. And finally, offer testing. If this isn't a muscle that your business is currently practicing, now is the time to get into that. You want to have that ready to go, being able to test multiple offers. And again, all of this is so that we're not painting ourselves into a corner, so that we're stuck doing some ridiculously high discount because we're trying to go after everybody. We want to have a intentional, tactical view of how we're going to make subscriptions more compelling for people that come to our site. Okay, that's it for this week's dose. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Subscription Prescription. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe so that you can get notified when new episodes come out each week on Tuesdays.